What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the debt that is being released into the market and how this affects your credit and how it can also land you in court if you don't deal with this. This is debt that is being sold to debt collectors in bulk. And I'm going to cover up the company that sells this because we don't want to get things riled up on there or have some trouble here with on YouTube. But what we want to talk about is what you need to do and be prepared if you potentially have an old outstanding debt. With this particular one is mixed with payday loans. That's what that PDL is. Credit cards, regular credit cards, and retail type credit cards, which could be clothing stores, gym memberships, and more. In this one here, the principal amount is $2 million, and it's 3,119 accounts. The average charge-off date is 2014 to 2015, and the average balance is $641. Apologize for that. We had a little problem with the audio, but they're selling this whole portfolio for $5,000. So you can see that they're getting this stuff for pennies on the dollar. Later, I'm going to tell you what you need to do to be able to fight against this. So let's go to the next one that's being sold. All right, here's another batch here. This is strictly payday loan. It has some, three different payday loan lenders. So if you dealt with any of these three here, there and you did not pay, this is what they're doing. They're selling it off. $8.4 million, 15,628 accounts. Average charge-off date is 6/19/2011. Whoa. And then the average balance is $540, selling a total package for $12,600. One thing that you usually see with payday loans for some reason is that they sell those uh, batches for a lot more than they sell for regular credit cards. And I believe the reason why is because they believe that most payday lending clients are unsophisticated and they're not going to know what their rights are when they get that demand letter and they end up paying or signing another contract on accident with a debt collector. So let's go to the next one here. All right, here's another batch. This one here, it says it's mixed lenders, $6.6 million, accounts 2,386. Average charge-off date is 2001 to 2009. Unbelievable. 2001 to 2009. Average balance is $2,794. Purchase price $5,000. This is literally below pennies on the dollar. Here's another group here. Is below is 2.7 million dollar file. 1,990 accounts mixed out of statute. That's what I'm thinking. What they mean by that is they know that a lot of this debt that they're going to sell is out of statute of limitations. We're going to go into that in a second. Average balance $1,738. Selling the total package for $2,500. So you can see that this is way below pennies on the dollar. All right, let's go through the walkthrough. Let's go through the walkthrough. I know if you've watched my videos, you know that I always talk about this. But the reason why I talk about it a lot is because this is where people get into trouble. This is where people, for some reason, they don't take this serious and they end up getting into trouble. And then they're trying to figure out how to get out of trouble when a lot of this stuff could have been ended from the beginning. Uh, Now, the first thing that's going to happen from those debt collectors who buy debt is they're going to send out a 30-day demand payment letter. They're going to send that letter out, and if you don't respond to that letter, you're giving them permission to place that information on your credit reports. It's like you're giving them domino number one to play against you. And so you have to respond to it, regardless if you know the debt is yours, regardless of uh, how new the debt is, or if it's an older debt, regardless, you have to respond to that letter, because if you don't respond to it, you're allowing them to legally place this information on your credit reports in a way it's like you're saying, yes, I agree with what you're saying. I know that that sounds backwards, but that's what you're giving them the right to do. Now, the next thing is what I want you to do is for the response of the letter. So you got this letter from a debt collector saying you owe this debt. It had the original creditor on there. And some of the times they play around and make it like the original creditor is trying to come after you for the debt, even though they're not. You have to respond to it. And so I'm going to tell you step by step what you need to do. So you got that 30-day letter. The next thing that you need to immediately do is you need to check your credit reports to see when the original charge-off date was for that debt. Remember when I was just showing you on the emails and it said that some debts are out of statute, or it said original charge-off date was 2011 or 2014? Well, every state has a different statute of limitations date, and you need to check your state. You can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. That's posted right here on the side. Go to my website and go to my blog and check the statute of limitations. Just type it in, and when you, it's going to pop up with all of the states, and you need to look at for your type of debt. And if it's a credit card type debt, open end type account, that's going to be in column number 4. I'm going to pull that up for you. Okay, so this is on my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. And you can see this statute of limitations. All states are different. You can see here with a written contract in Alabama, you have a 3-year, and then open end, this is credit cards, you have a 3-year. So you saw that one of the batches that they had, it was past this statute of limitations. Now you do have some states that are crazy. Look at this, it's 10 years for these three, and then you got Kentucky with 15 years, and you got 5 to 15 with credit cards. And so it's kind of different for every state. And you can see here, these are some that are, this one is 10 across the board. But what you're going to be mostly concerned with is the written contract. So this could be one where you have an automobile that was repossessed. And these over here would be for credit cards or any type of account where you pay, and then you will be able to have access to the funds as you pay them down. So now let's go back to it. You check the statute of limitations. If it is past the legal statute of limitations to collect, all you have to do is send a cease collections due to SOL, statute of limitations laws in your state. I have those letters below this video. You can click and I'll give you a free copy of this letter. You don't need to go into any other details when you know 100% that it's past the legal statute of limitations. You will know that by looking at your credit reports. And if you don't have copies of your credit reports, please go to the website your3scores.com. That's also listed here and below the video. Get copies of your credit reports. You need to know what's on there so you can fight this. If it is past the legal statute of limitations to collect, there's still another option that I want you to try. We've been very successful with this because one thing about debt collectors who buy old debt is that they don't want to go through trouble collecting them. They want to basically pick the easy, what do they call it, the low hanging fruit, which are people who don't respond to the 30-day letter. They want to try to go after those people. They don't want to go after people who are going to try to fight for their rights in court. So what I want you to do is there's another letter below here on this video. It's a cease and desist collection activities letter. This is a letter that I designed that actually challenges, it does a debt validation, it does a challenge on the legal uh, uh, ability for them to collect the debt. It goes to a whole bunch of things. I think there's 7 points on there that you want to make them think about and to see if they really want to go after you to collect this old debt. And so I want you to get that letter. Now, it I would say that most debt collectors will cease collection activity when they get this letter, but some of them might say, "Hey, we're going to still go after it, and we're going to still try to come after you for the money." So that if you do get a response letter where they're saying, "Hey, we believe that we can collect this debt from you," the next letter that I want you to send out, and this letter is attached with the statute of limitations letter, is the debt validation letter. This is where you want to make them prove every aspect of the debt. And that's going to also be making them prove the amounts of the debt and a contract between you and them to prove that you have to pay them for the debt. So you have an absolute right to do that. Now, uh, they're going to probably come back with a response. They might offer the debt validation. They might say that they're not going to come after you for the debt. That is possible. But they might respond. And let me tell you the three different responses that we get when they do it to our customers, that they might cease collection activities. They might just say, "Hey, we're not going to do it." Number two, they might send statements back showing, "Hey, this is your account. We got these old statements." They might have one, two, or three statements from the original creditor, or they might disregard your request. This is something that a lot of people, for some reason, think that is not possible, that a debt collector that you send a letter to, that they will disregard your request. Number one, this could happen, number one, because you just saw that they're buying thousands of people's uh, debt, and they just might miss yours, or they might not take you serious, and they might say, "Hey, we're going to just try to go after them regardless so we can make our money back and our profit." So they might just disregard it. And then what you should do if they do that, either number one, number two, or number three, is you respond accordingly. If they send you statements, you want them to respond to the full debt validation. You have a right to get a full debt validation, including the contract showing why they are coming after you for it. If they disregard it, then you just respond accordingly, saying that you disregarded my debt validation, and I want you to respond to the full debt validation that I sent you. Now, uh, they may not respond, and they might take you to court and sue you. When you get that court summons, what you want to do next is you want to respond to the court summons, but you're going to ask for the debt validation again. You have to do it. I know you probably like saying, "Hey, I've already done it," but you have to do it again. And you request debt validation and contract again in your summons response. There's a spot in your summons response where they're going to ask for a certain amount of money, and they're going to say that they're proving that by possibly putting some statements on there. Some of them are lazy and don't even do that. They just claim that because they bought the debt that you have to pay them for it. You do a full debt validation and you request the contract with your response in the court summons. And then if they don't respond and your court date comes up, you ask the judge you want to ask the judge to make them give you the information that you requested, which was a full validation. A lot of the times when you show up to court, the plaintiff attorney will say that they're going to dismiss the case. They just wanted to see if you were going to come there so they can get an easy default judgment. If they don't ask for dismissal and they ask for more time to get the documents that you asked for in the response here, and that you also asked for before it even went to court with your debt validation, you should ask the judge for a dismissal because you've given them plenty of time to respond to your request for a full debt validation. And worst case scenario, they provide everything and the judge agrees with them, you just move to a settlement phase. Very simple and easy. This whole thing will take you from A to Z, and it will have you resolve that account, and you will be able to repair your credit with from wherever you end up with these steps. You will end up being able to move to a credit repair process, because these types of things have to be resolved before your credit is going to be resolved, because this is part of the process. And a lot of people they get upset because they like, this is a long process, but this is what actually has to be done to get you from A to Z with credit repair. So if you need to get these letters, please uh, go below this video and check out the SOL letter that I give you, past statute of limitations letter, debt validation, and the cease and desist collection activities letter. So what I'd like you to do right now, before you go and do that, please like this video. Please like it. It helps bring up the algorithm so we can help more people with it. And also it shows that you appreciate me taking out the time to make this video for you. And also, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And after you do that, hit the notification button so you can be notified of new videos that are being produced and put on my channel. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of the CreditRepairShop.com.